What if I told you that something big is about to happen in your life, but you won't see it coming? You may have been going through challenges, feeling like everything was stagnating, and you've asked yourself, why me? Why now? What if I revealed to you that everything you're going through is preparing for an unexpected breakthrough, a turning point you never dared to imagine? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could transform the way you look at every difficult moment and every silence in your life. You may feel lost right now, as if life has frozen you in an endless moment. The days repeat themselves, monotonous, and every effort you make seems to disappear into the void. You pray, you hope, you ask Allah to change your situation, but nothing happens. And then you begin to doubt, to wonder if what you're going through has any meaning. But listen, this silence in your life is not empty. It is not abandonment. It is a sacred space where Allah works in the shadows. Every tear, every breath, every night spent worrying or questioning yourself is an invisible seed planted by the Creator Himself. You don't see it yet, but something greater than yourself is taking shape. Every trial, every fatigue, every doubt you carry is a spiritual dew that prepares your heart to welcome the light. Imagine a garden before dawn. Nothing moves to the naked eye. The wind is light, the sky still dark. Yet, beneath this apparent stillness, the earth receives the night dew, the roots absorb water they have never seen before, and a silent transformation begins. This is exactly what is happening within you. Your difficulties are this dew, silent but essential. They nourish your soul, they shape your character, they prepare a change you cannot imagine, and which will arrive exactly when your heart is ready to receive it. Perhaps you feel lonely, perhaps you feel abandoned by others, or even by yourself. But this feeling, this forced pause in your life, is an invitation to look inward. Allah is calling you to listen to what your heart refuses to hear. Your fears, your regrets, your deepest aspirations. There is no coincidence in silence. Every moment you feel like you're stagnating is a lesson, a reminder that your path is not measured by human eyes, but by the plans of the Almighty. Look around you. The little things you considered insignificant take on new meaning. The prayers you repeated, thinking they would never be answered, are actually the building blocks of your inner strength. The nights you cried, wondering if Allah had forgotten you, are actually the workshops where your heart is purifying itself and preparing to receive the blessing it never dared to imagine. And you know what? The most beautiful thing about this process is that it's completely invisible. You don't need to understand how it works. You don't need to see every movement. Your only task, your only responsibility is to remain patient, to remain in prayer, to keep your heart open. Because what you experience today is exactly what will make you see a light tomorrow that will surprise you with its magnitude. A light that will make you say, everything I went through was worth it, even if I didn't understand anything at the time. Perhaps you're asking yourself, why me? Why now? It's a natural question. But this doubt is also an invitation to trust. Trust in the one who knows the depths of your heart, who sees the intentions you hide even from yourself, who knows the magnitude of what you are capable of bearing. Every day you persist, despite everything. Every night you choose to raise your hands in prayer, despite the fatigue. Every moment you choose hope over despair. All of this matters. All of this prepares for the miracle you're not expecting, exactly when you're ready to receive it. So breathe. Feel your heartbeat. Feel that little spark of hope that refuses to fade, even in the worst moments.
It is the presence of Allah in your soul. It is He who tells you without words, without noise, that the pause you are experiencing today is not abandonment. It is preparation, purification, silent growth. And when the light arrives, you will understand that everything you thought was lost, everything you thought useless, had a purpose, a divine reason, invisible but essential.
There comes a moment in life when everything changes. A moment so subtle that you don't even realize it's already here. You continue walking like a weary traveler, your feet sinking into the sand of your struggles, your heart weighed down by trials you hadn't foreseen. You prayed, hoped, perhaps even begged, and yet nothing seemed to change. Every day is the same, and every night silently reminds you that you have no control over the world around you. And yet, the moment always comes. Always. You are like that traveler lost in an endless desert. The heat burns you, the wind slaps you, and every step seems futile. Your lips dry up, your mind wavers, and you begin to believe that light doesn't exist for you. But even in this desolation, an invisible spring flows. You don't see it yet, but it is there, patient and silent. Suddenly, without warning, the horizon changes. The monotonous sand gives way to touches of green you'd never noticed. A fresh fragrance floats in the air. A light breeze brushes your face, bringing a softness you haven't felt for weeks, months, sometimes years. And there, before you, a spring appears. Not simply a physical oasis, but a divine metaphor. It's the miracle you've been waiting for. Not the one you'd imagined, not the one you'd planned, but the one your heart was ready to welcome. And that's when you understand something fundamental. Allah never rushes according to your timetable. He doesn't follow your plans, your urgencies, your human expectations. He acts according to the perfect timing, the one when your soul is ready to recognize His mercy, the one when your heart can finally open without fear or resistance. Imagine yourself for a moment longer, that weary traveler, and think of every moment you said, "I'll never make it." All those silent prayers you whispered in the dark, all those tears you wiped away alone. They were the invisible preparations for this very moment. Every step you thought was useless, every effort you thought was ignored, were actually stones on the path to the source. And when you look upon it, you understand that nothing has been lost, nothing has been in vain. Divine timing is never what you expect. Sometimes it hides behind pain, behind rejection, behind loneliness. You may feel broken, misunderstood, even forgotten. But that's never the case. Allah knows exactly when your heart can contain the blessing He is preparing. Sometimes He delays the opening of the door not to punish you, but so that you will be strong enough, patient enough, pure enough to welcome what will come. And when this source appears, it transforms everything. Fatigue disappears. Doubt recedes. The sand becomes soft beneath your feet, as if each previous trial had polished your soul so that it could receive this light. Your gaze changes. Your hands change. Your heart. Your heart recognizes the wisdom behind every trial, every tear, every sleepless night spent searching for a sign. But the most astonishing thing is that this miracle is not just a reward. It is an invitation to see life differently, to understand that every moment of suffering contains a secret, that every pain contains a seed of mercy, and that sometimes the greatest blessing comes not when you pray for it, but when you have stopped praying for things to happen according to your human idea of perfection. Then you understand that real change isn't what you thought it would be. It's not the immediate disappearance of your problems, nor the sudden end of your trials.
It's the silent renewal in your heart, the awakening of your soul, the ability to recognize Allah's signs, even in what you thought were detours or delays. And even now, as you're still walking, the wind on your face, the horizon tinged with green, you know that everything can change in the next moment. You know that a miracle can appear from where you least expect it, exactly as Allah intended. But to see it, you must remain attentive. You must keep an open heart. You must recognize that every step, every breath, every moment of fatigue plays a specific role in this transformation. And it's that moment, that breath, that unexpected breeze, that begins to make your soul understand that the best may still be ahead of you. Your heart may be asking itself, why me? Why now? And you know what? These questions are natural. They come from that inner voice that seeks to understand Allah's invisible plan. You wake up some mornings with a heaviness in your chest, the feeling that everything is too difficult, that every step you take is useless. You look around you and see others moving forward, succeeding, smiling. And there you are, walking in the fog of your worries. You wonder if your prayers, your efforts, your sacrifices are really worth anything. But listen carefully, because what your heart doesn't know is much greater than you can imagine. Every difficulty you go through is not an accident. Every tear you shed is not wasted. Every loss, every disappointment, every night you felt alone. All of this has been prepared for you, for your soul, by Allah Himself. Imagine your heart as a locked chest. For years, you've tried to enter on your own, knocking on the lock impatiently, frustratedly. But the key wasn't in your hands. It was in the hands of Allah. And every trial, every obstacle, every suffering, they are, in reality, gentle knocks that force your heart to prepare itself, to expand, to become capable of receiving what you never thought possible. The mercy that awaits you is beyond your comprehension. It doesn't follow human logic, nor the timetable you imagined. It arrives at the exact moment your soul is ready to receive it without breaking. Perhaps you still don't know the strength you carry within you. Your heart has weathered storms you thought would destroy it. And yet, it is there, beating, persistent, resilient. It has learned patience. It has learned the depth of hope. He learned to cling to Allah when the whole world seemed to be drifting away. Sometimes you think suffering is a punishment, that you are alone in your struggle. But the truth is different. Every difficulty is a purification. Every trial is a call. Every tear is a silent prayer your heart offers to Allah. These experiences prepare for an opening, an awakening that you cannot yet see, but which will transform everything you thought impossible. And imagine for a moment the power of that moment to come. That moment when you will understand that all those sleepless nights, all that pain, all those sacrifices were not in vain. That moment when your heart will finally open and receive a light, a relief, a transformation you never dared to hope for. Everything that seemed heavy, difficult, unbearable, will become clear and meaningful. You will see the invisible thread that connects each trial, each disappointment, each loss, and you will understand that nothing has been in vain. Allah will say to you silently, wordlessly, through your own inner awakening, this is why you have endured all this. Your heart was unaware of its own resilience. It was unaware that behind every darkness, every silence, every weight, lay a silent miracle preparing your happiness. It was unaware of the depth of divine mercy that arrives exactly when it is needed, not a day before, not a day after. And as you continue to walk, as you continue to live, as you continue to hope, something is changing, subtly. You begin to notice the small signs you had ignored. That light in the night, that unexpected smile, that gentle word that warms your heart. Everything is a preparation. Everything is a guide. Everything is proof that even in loneliness and pain, Allah has never ceased to be close to you. Your heart then realizes that it has never been alone. Every breath, every heartbeat, every moment of patience. It was a silent construction of something greater than yourself, something you couldn't yet see. And even now, you continue to question, to doubt. But change is coming, light is approaching, and your heart, even without knowing it, is preparing to receive it. So feel it. Feel this presence in your soul, this silent certainty that divine mercy surrounds you even when everything seems dark. Your heart doesn't yet know what it will receive, but it is about to discover a transformation that will make all your sorrows take on new meaning. Everything you thought impossible will become tangible. Everything you thought lost will return transformed. And it is there, just on the horizon of your soul, that something profoundly unexpected is brewing. Have you ever taken a moment, really taken a moment, to look at the life around you and ask yourself, what if this delay, this closed door, this endless wait weren't obstacles, but gifts in disguise? Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine all the doors that have closed before you, all the opportunities you thought were lost, all the paths you wanted to take but that the universe refused for you. What if all of this wasn't a coincidence? What if behind every no, every silence, every wait, there was a greater plan, a silent miracle that your soul wasn't yet ready to welcome? Think of those moments when you thought everything was falling apart, when you felt the weight of loneliness, fatigue, and injustice. Those moments when you thought, Allah has forgotten me, I'm alone, nothing is going to happen for me. What if I told you it was exactly the opposite? That these trials were preparation, divine staging for something you couldn't even imagine? Every delay, every rejection, every apparent failure wasn't a punishment. It was a lesson, a purification, a spiritual workshop where Allah molded your heart and soul. Have you ever thought about how your life would change if you accepted this perspective? If you saw every pain not as an end, but as a secret beginning? How would this transform the way you pray? How you wait? How you trust in Allah even when all seems lost? Perhaps you would begin to speak to your heart more than your head, to feel the divine presence not only in the light, but also in the darkness. You would begin to understand that every trial has a specific purpose. Every night of doubt has a reason. Every tear shed has a weight in the sky. What if what you're going through today, this uncertainty, this fatigue, this loss, was the preparation for the greatest change of your life? This moment you've been waiting for so long, the one you no longer dared to hope for. Perhaps it's already on its way. Perhaps it's preparing itself, silently, invisibly, exactly at the moment your soul is ready to receive it. So ask yourself this question. What would you do differently if you knew that every pain had a purpose, that every trial was a sign, that every delay was a gift? Would you continue to worry about tomorrow, or would you finally place your heart in the hands of the one who knows your heart better than you know yourself? Would you continue to battle the storms, or would you finally walk with confidence, knowing that Allah directs every breath of wind in your direction? Perhaps you're still unaware of the signs around you. Perhaps you're missing out on those little wonders that life gives you every day. An unexpected smile, a comforting word, an opportunity that appears out of nowhere. What if these signs weren't coincidences, but clear messages reminding you, be patient, keep going, what's meant for you will come at the perfect time. Imagine for a moment that what you've been waiting for so long doesn't manifest because Allah knows that your heart, your soul, your spirit aren't yet ready to receive it. What would you do then? Would you feel frustrated and give up? Or would you understand that true patience isn't just waiting but growing while you wait? The true faith isn't receiving what you desire immediately, but believing deeply, even when the whole world tells you it's impossible. And what if I told you that sometimes what you consider a delay is actually the greatest gift you could receive? That the closed door you mourn today was the springboard to something greater, purer, more aligned with your spiritual destiny? Every rejection, every disappointment, every no was a divine protection against what could have harmed you, against what was not yet meant for you. And everything you thought you were losing returns, transformed, amplified, into a blessing your heart would never have dared to imagine. So, listen carefully to your heart. Observe the subtle signs around you. Realize that this suffering is not an accident, that this silence is not forgetfulness, that this delay is not an injustice. Everything you are experiencing today is preparing for something great, profound, divinely perfect. And the most incredible thing is, you may not see it coming, but you will feel it in every fiber of your being, exactly at the moment your heart is ready to understand. And now, ask yourself, are you ready to welcome this miracle? Are you ready to transform your expectation into gratitude, your pain into strength, your doubt into absolute trust in the one who knows your heart better than you know yourself?
Because Allah works silently, invisibly, perfectly. And what He has in store for you could change your whole life.
Close your eyes for a moment. Let the world around you gently fade away. No longer hear the noise, the voices, the worries. Imagine yourself standing alone in a vast, silent space. The sky is a deep blue, the ground still warm beneath your feet. There is something in the air you cannot explain. A calm, a gentleness, a promise. And suddenly, a light wind rises. It doesn't come from a specific direction. It seems to come from everywhere at once, as if it were passing through your soul as much as your body. This wind isn't violent. It doesn't push you. It brushes against you. It envelops you. It speaks to you. It slips between your fingers and brushes against your face, and you feel something strange. As if this wind knows your story. As if it carries within it the memory of all your prayers, all your tears, all your silences. This wind is the breath of change. The one that Allah sends to those whose hearts have waited patiently. To those who have weathered storms without understanding but without giving up. This breath makes no noise. It doesn't come with a bang. It arrives calmly, in moments when you think nothing can change. And yet, it transforms everything in its path. You feel it carrying away pieces of you that you no longer need to carry. Fear of the future, the fatigue of past efforts, the guilt of your mistakes, the regrets of what you would have liked to change. This wind carries them away, one by one, painlessly. And as it blows, it deposits something new within you, a soft, warm, almost familiar light. It's a peace you don't recognize, because it doesn't come from this world. You slowly open your eyes, and everything around you seems different. The same world, but not the same gaze. The colors are more vivid, the light more real, the silence more soothing. And you suddenly understand that the change you've been waiting for so long didn't come from outside. It came from within you. It was already there, hidden in the silence of your soul, waiting for you to be ready to hear it. Therein lies the secret of the breath of transformation. It doesn't tear you away from your life, it brings you back, but differently. It doesn't bring you something you didn't have. It reveals what you had forgotten within yourself. Your strength, your faith, your capacity to still hope. You realize that this wind hasn't just lightened you, it's reconnected you. Reconnected to Allah, to your soul, to that silent part of you that had stopped believing that good could still come. And in this moment of pure lucidity, You feel a simple but powerful truth. The change you've been waiting for, the miracle you've longed for, won't come with thunder or flashes of light. It will come in the calm breath of your heart, reconciled with itself. This wind is a sign. It teaches you that divine transformation is subtle. It isn't seen at first. It is felt. It's in the way you breathe differently, the way you stand a little straighter, the way you look at life with a little more gentleness. It's in those moments when you feel that Allah has heard you, not because everything has changed on the outside, but because something has shifted deep within you. And then you understand why things took time, why you had to go through loss, fatigue, silence. It's because that breath cannot touch a closed heart. Yours had to be broken, cracked, cleansed, so that the wind could enter. And now that it does, it sweeps away everything that prevented you from fully feeling Allah's presence. This is no ordinary breath. It's a reminder, a divine whisper, a silent call to return to yourself, to return to Him. And through this invisible breeze, you feel a certainty enveloping you. You belong. You have lost nothing. You have never been alone. Every step, every pain, every silence has led you here, to this precise moment when the wind of mercy finally touches you. You breathe deeply, and in that breath, everything seems to align. Unanswered questions find meaning. Deep wounds become marks of growth. What you thought were delays, punishments, blockages, turn out to be preparations, meticulous, perfect. And without even realizing it, you change. Your gaze becomes softer, your prayers more sincere, your steps lighter, because that breath has not only passed through your body, it has purified your soul. It has awakened in you a quiet faith, the kind that no longer depends on circumstances, the kind that knows, without seeing, that everything always happens at the perfect time. You look at the sky one last time. The wind continues to blow, peaceful, infinite. You feel it guiding you somewhere without telling you where, but you are no longer afraid. Because you now know that this breath is no accident. It is Allah's invisible signature, placed in the wind, in your heart, in your story. And as it continues to blow gently around you, a phrase is born in your mind. Not a voice, not a sound, just a silent certainty. What you are waiting for is not far away. The wind is already bringing it, gently, perfectly, at my chosen moment. You remain still. The wind continues. And in that breath, you feel that something immense is beginning. Remember, this moment, this breath of transformation, arrives exactly when Allah knows you are ready. Don't close your heart to this miracle brewing in the shadows. Be patient, trust, and remain open to receiving the blessing you never imagined. If this video touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear this message today, and leave a comment telling what you are waiting for with hope. And above all, subscribe to continue discovering together the signs and miracles that life prepares for us at the perfect moment.